All right, guys, if you've been struggling with your driver, in today's video, we've got one small tweak that you could make through the ball that Steve and I are going to show you that could really help you hit your driver much straighter and much farther. Let's dive right in. Okay, Steve, so hitting the driver straighter and farther, I know a lot of the players we work with, we're spending a lot of time on what they need to do through the golf ball.
Yep, their follow through, correct.
And today we're going to talk about that. And I know a couple key pieces for the golfers and for you guys watching that they want to focus on through the ball to hit it higher and farther. Why don't you kind of guide us through what some of the priorities are? I know some of the extension pieces, some of the width, and then the rehinging through the golf ball.
Cock. Yeah.
So if we were starting from scratch.
Yeah,
right?
the progression.
Yes.
Like what would the progression be? We would typically, you know, like we have done in the past, someone hitting the ball, they stay in flexion, their neck and head stay down. Maybe they're told to keep their head down.
Yep. And
then the flexion of the neck, thoracic, you can even say the pelvis, would cause the arms to flex, the dreaded chicken wing. Mm. So we would start with how to extend their neck and their thoracic through the ball.
Yeah, let's stand that for a second.
Yep.
So for you guys watching, show us the bad version, Steve, with the head and chest forward, the arms bending.
So the golfer's hitting, their head's moving forward and staying down. So they're moving forward down flexion. And because the body's in flexion, then their arms are in flexion coming through the hit.
Hold that right there.
Yeah.
So like that move right there through the ball would be the way to do it if you want to hit your driver crooked and short. Okay.
And low.
And low. And now when Steve does that motion, he set it in that sequence on purpose, which was the body and head moving forward and down causes the arms to fold up through impact like that.
Right.
I just think that's an important tweak.
I agree there. I agree. So to start, we'd start by extending the neck and the thoracic through the ball, more like a back bend as they're hitting, and them feeling like their head's going backwards through the ball and creating that back bend helps facilitate the arms being pushed away. So you see here's the extension versus the flexion I just did a moment ago.
And the arms being pushed away and the extending of the upper body, that would be the method to hit it the highest, the farthest.
Yeah, that'd be definitely the first part of it.
Yeah, you can even punch one or two out if you want to.
Yeah.
Just to show.
Doing it the proper way?
Yeah, let's do the good version.
Yeah, I'll punch it out.
We'll take a bad later if you have one of those too, but let's do a good one to start.
Well, I'll punch it doing like the drill. How we'd start doing it. So we tell them to stretch their arms out, push their arms away, extend their neck back, and just punch this ball out there.
And explain again, Steve, when you're doing that, what your feels are.
Yep. So for me, what I'm feeling is I'm really feeling it in my neck and my thoracic. I'm not really feeling too much in my pelvis, the upper body going backwards, almost away from the ball.
Okay.
And then I'm feeling my arms pushed as far away from my body as possible. So I feel like I'm going back with my upper body and pushing away with my arms.
Okay.
It's kind of like, if a wall is caving and I'm stretching, I have one force going back and one force going forward.
Let's tee up another one here, Steve. Yeah. So like the order that Steve's doing this is so important. Getting good with your golf swings, not just what you do, but it's what order you do things in and the order you learn things in sequentially to make the other pieces happen. Like Steve, the extension that you're doing, let's hit another one. The extension you're doing through the ball, we're saying enables you to have that extension of the arms.
It facilitates the arms being pushed away, coming through. So that's why I always hammer the body. We will teach the body part first. I'll punch one more out.
Yep.
Do the same thing. I'll just drive it out there.
Neck back.
Yeah, neck feels like it's back. It feels like, to me, it feels like I'm getting further from the ground, and that's helping to give me more room to stretch my arms out.
And you're feeling that, Steve, like through the hit? Or when are you feeling
Me personally, I'm probably feeling about shaft parallel to the ground, me personally, but someone might need to start feeling it as soon as they start their downswing.
Got it, okay.
The quote unquote early extension is probably good for high handicappers to feel that.
Gotcha, okay.
All right, same thing, just punch this thing out there, arms pushed away, neck and head feel like they go back through the hit.
Yeah, beautiful job. That looks really good. Now, from that spot, let's say the golfer's learning that.
Yep.
And because we do shorter, we're not doing a 3-month-long video. Let's say we get through a couple hits, but let's say they practice that and they're good at that.
Yeah.
We fast forward. What's the next piece of the puzzle, or what are we putting in to add with that for the speed and the height?
More club heads. Yeah, so the next priority then would be more speed, more height. That's how the wrists work through the ball.
Okay.
The recocking of the club.
Yeah.
So making our way up, we just talked, we did the neck, the arms, got like the basics in there. Now we're talking about how the wrist motion works through the ball, more of like the whip crack.
Okay.
So I would say that, at the setup, we'd have the alignment lined up, like the arm and the shaft are lined up. So we go back, we hinge our wrists, we come down, the wrists unhinge, but they unhinge right back to where they started. And then that's where the wrists actually start moving up more, coming through the ball. So there'd be this whip crack through the hit. And if you view it from the down the line motion, my trail wrist still has like a bend in it, and my hands are still ahead of the club. I'm not rolling or casting the club. It's the club working more up through the ball. So the way that I would describe it is my hands are forward at impact, and the club's working upwards as I'm extending and pushing my arms away. And that rehinging, you can hear the sound of the club.
Right.
To get more speed on it coming through.
Okay.
Where if I'm just standing here and I'm just doing my extension, I can get good speed on it, but see how there's no whip crack?
Right.
Through the hit.
Yep.
So you'd have like the neck, arms first, and then you're adding in this rehinging second or last to get more club head speed and to hit this thing higher and further coming through the ball.
And so the wrist motion, you're saying we're not cupping it.
Correct.
This way.
No, we're not cupping it, because like I said, it unhinges right back to where we started, and then it's working upwards through the hit.
Yeah, gotcha.
Coming to the ball. We're not having the club head pass our hands or adding any layback and cupping through the ball, because then that would start adding too much loft, making the ball cut too much.
Yeah.
We're talking about more of a club head speed issue while kind of keeping the trail wrist still bent coming through the ball, essentially.
And so when you're hitting with that, you're doing the extension,
yep,
pushing the arms away, and then you would kind of add that in third?
Yeah.
Add that
lastly, I would say that would be like, if we're coaching someone for a couple months, that would be the last little part we would end with to get more club head speed and keep hitting it higher and further, especially with the driver.
But it's interesting, and for this video, a lot of golfers we see, and this maybe you with your driver, who struggle with the body not being in the correct position, not enough extension, the arm overfolds, and there's really an inability to rehinge.
Right.
See that a lot.
Yeah, as your elbows start pulling apart coming through the ball, you can't recock the club. Your arms need to be extended and straight. That's allowing, it helps actually the grip be more in the fingers, which also helps recock the club through the ball.
Okay. Let's see with that, let's say step 2, you're doing the drill with it punching out, and then would you still do that sort of drill and just add the rehinge?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's try one with that.
So that's basically how I was stopping here with my extension of my arms. Now I'm gonna do more of a fuller follow through and recock the club all the way through.
Okay.
To get the thing to move faster and hit it higher and further. So I'm going to do everything the same, the neck, the arm. So I'm going to add more recocking, hit this thing straight up into the air.
Yeah, nice.
So that ball went even higher.
Yeah.
Faded a little bit, but the height and the distance increased on that one.
And it's a lot of the driver struggles through the golf ball that we see is really stemming from some of those earlier pieces. I think that's a key point.
I would definitely say the body is what starts it.
Yes.
Having the body move poorly is not allowing you to do your arms or your wrist, the wrist up coming through the hit.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really, what we're talking about here is the ascent of the club coming up more through the ball.
And that's like you're feeling, probably exaggerate a little bit, like kind of 90-degree angles.
Yeah. I mean, a great example, and we just talked about it, was Fred Couples and Bubba Watson. How by the time like their left arm's parallel to the ground, Bubba's right arm is left-handed. They have a lot of recocking through the ball to start hitting the longer clubs further and higher into the air.
Yeah, okay. Let's do one more, Steve.
Yeah.
So the neck and the thoracic extending.
Arms pushing away, and I'm adding in some recocking up through the hit, but I'm not casting or unhinging the club. I want to make that point pretty clear on that one. See, launch keeps increasing as I'm doing that.
So I like that. Any other little details in it? I think that's pretty good.
No, I think that's good for now.
Yeah. The order that you're doing them in, I think we said a couple of times on purpose, that you're doing the body motions first to be able to get the arms. And then when you do the arms, you're able to do the rehinging on the way through. So if you see yourself stuck through the golf ball like this, you're not able to rehinge the club, you're hitting it too short, too low, inconsistent.
Yeah.
This would be a good one for you, Steve. Appreciate you as always. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below. If you want to go see Steve in person, we'll link his stuff down below, link cogornogolf.com. Would love to see you there for online lessons. Thank you guys for watching.